corners of Chip, delectable snacks at Crescent Ballroom. We have Sango. Pleasure to have you here, sir.
Thank you.
It really is.
I gotta tell you a story. So we had gone to Day in Vegas together,
Yes.
and we had no idea you were playing. We were just, we were there, we were excited, we were walking in. You're
At
like,
the right time.
Who's playing right now? This is crazy. We just gravitated toward the stage, and we're like, yo, it's
That's
Sango.
tight.
Like
And there was like a whole like wave of people. We're like, these are people. And I looked up. I was like, is that? No.
It was tight. So
You know what's funny about that is that I was one of the only producers booked for that. It's like it was really rap. It was like a rap and like R&B acts, really.
Yeah.
There was no producer DJs.
Yeah.
Barely.
There
I'm
was-
trying to think of who else. I couldn't, but
I don't think there was
yeah.
anybody else on the lineup for that. But even
Metro
even
Boomin?
you slipped our mind. Yeah, he was. But he was like a last minute addition
Yeah.
because somebody
because
pulled
Travis
out.
Scott pulled out. So it's him in Future.
That's what it is.
Yep.
Nonetheless, pleasure to have you here in Phoenix. Thank
Very
you so
much
much.
so.
Now I'm gonna call you out real quick because I do follow you on Twitter, and after the Super Bowl performance, I hopped on Twitter real quick and I was like, oh, what are people talking about? And Sango was the first person that I saw, and he said that was not it, and I was so surprised.
Look at, and he's not denying it.
Compared to like what like the the Billboard Awards, American Music Awards, with Celia Cruz
Dedication. Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Like when you compare to that, go watch that, and then watch the Super Bowl. But my thing is, the thing I didn't like it was just the it was kind of like a circus a little bit. They should have just focused on. It was like they were trying to do so much in one sitting, and then they were just adding random stuff. Like I saw like little things like they had the Puerto Rican flag, but it was like a moment though. It wasn't like it wasn't about it. It was. And the fact that Pitbull wasn't in it, I'm like, okay, at this point, y'all might as well have Pitbull, like, you know what I mean?
Right, and that, and teasing us with the Cardi B, like they should have brought Cardi B when they had like Bad Bunny there and stuff like that.
I saw a tweet, it was hilarious. They were like, I know someone right now is sweating out their fedora. That's for you. And you saw, I don't know if y'all saw that.
That's Miami.
I didn't see it.
But I was like, yo, so culturally, like, it just wasn't for me, like, as far as like Miami culture, not like Hispanic culture. That's two different things in my opinion, because you can't just you can't just have one city be the anchor of Hispanic culture in America.
Right.
And it's not and it's like, shoot, honestly, to be honest, I'd say like somewhere in Texas or LA, if it's in terms of like true Hispanic culture to a T, like headquarters, you got Univision, like
That's like a different conversation of like, there's like, there's Mexican culture, and then there's the Puerto Rican and everything else.
Yeah, you got New York.
So so that's a whole like different. I was just trying to see like, that's a whole different realm of conversation. But no, I saw, and then I think so. Our show is Sunday night, so I tried to look up that tweet again, and I was like, oh, I think he deleted it. And I was trying to like dig it through, and I was like,
I'll delete stuff if it's some stuff I'm just like, I'll say it. Cause I know people, they're like,
I'm the same way. You like think about it, and you're like, it's not even worth it to have that full.
Well, I usually delete comments. I usually mute it or delete it. Cause I don't care what I say really. Cause I think about what I'm gonna tweet. I don't just tweet out like randomly. But like most of the time, I've learned that people don't even invest their time into it unless it's like it's that moment, and then they move on. Now you're the one. Yo, man, what did I say? Like, no, you're honestly the only person worried about this tweet right now. Depending on how bad it is. But if it's just like a little tweet, then that ruffles some feathers. Like you're gonna ruffle some feathers at that moment, but like they're gonna move on. But if you're worrying about that tweet, then don't tweet. You know what I mean?
Just stay off it. And then people blame social media. You're like, you're controlling it, right? You got the power behind that.
I'm definitely a deleter.
Yeah, you are.
I'm an avid deleter.
Now, to get into music now, there's a surge of Afrobeat, Latin trap, and reggaeton at the moment. What do you see the genre evolving into in the next 2 to 5 years?
It's hard to say. Reggaeton is back, full-fledged, especially with Bad Bunny.
Dude, he brought back the Guanabana sound and all that stuff.
I was hoping for that because a lot of these genres that are popping, they've took a pop twist, and that's the leading thing now. Like you have Afrobeats is like there's a big pop scene now, and it's cool, which means it's getting popular, hence the name. But there has to be someone that can keep it
authentic.
Authentic. And surprisingly enough, Bad Bunny is tapped in. Like,
man, That Zafaera, oh my god.
What?
Yeah, it was hard.
I've listened to that like on repeat, and today I was like, I hope Sango drops that because I saw you tweeting about it too.
Oh, that song's hard.
I was like crossing my fingers. Now, you started making music at 8. How has your relationship with music evolved throughout the years in different stages of your life? You know, now in your career as you're digging through music, and as a father, like, what are you showing your son?
I kind of let like my son and my daughter at least just like find their own. It can start so young, you know,
right?
And not pushing too many things on them. Like let these kids enjoy these little singy songs or songs. Too. Like some people are like, no man, they can't listen to that. They gotta listen to like
Beethoven.
Yeah, like I mean they can play that too, but it's like they want to like be like I want my kid to only listen to Whitney Houston. Like I want to be that cool parent. Like nah, your kid's gonna like wear Gap. And like be cute
and be a kid.
You be a kid and listen to the Little Star and like Baby Shark. Like, let that happen.
Yeah, you gotta check out this R&B version of Baby Shark. There's a dude on YouTube that does R&B. Have I showed it to you?
There's a Cuban version too.
Really? Yo, I gotta check that out.
On that one.
How funny.
For sure.
Yeah.
So what does like the discipline and the creative process look like for you during this time? Because obviously you're on tour and I would imagine that it's kind of hard to kind of stop and sit and create, and I know that you do a lot of things like sonically through your headphones and everything like that, so it might be a bit easier that way, but what does that look like on tour?
On tour, I just kind of like, you gotta kind of just be in tour mode, you know, and not force it. I know like a lot of people, they're like, I gotta get my beats in a day, or like it's some workout, which is cool, you can do that, but I feel like, man, if you're touring, you should be focused on getting to the city, getting some rest, making sure you're performing well, making sure you're drinking water, you're full, you know, not neglecting yourself, because you can go into that realm where you're producing and you just don't leave where you're at, and you're just like, damn, I totally skipped lunch, I missed breakfast, you know, so just kind of just be in the moment and like, and being okay with that. So I do get stuff done though, like I'm not gonna let like these off days are getting like used up, you know what I mean? So,
for sure.
So.
I feel like you just be like, for lack of better words, you just be doing shit. Like you have it in your head and you just do it. Like I don't know if there's like a plan executed.
Yeah, there was something that you had tweeted earlier this week. Was it the Mac Dre and Jay Dilla track that you had like tweeted like 3 days ago, and then all of a sudden was it like yesterday that you like dropped it?
Yeah, dropped it. Yeah. It was more that when that stuff happens, it's more so like I believe in like. Everybody talks about content, and people like, oh, yeah, this is one thing. It's like, how do you know, like photographer, a videographer on tour. I'm like, man, nobody want to like one video is cool, but no one wants to see all these recaps and like, okay, we get it. Like unless it's like a totally different story documentary you're doing. Like, okay, what are you gonna do for the next one? Another documentary? So I kind of like saved that for people to like that part of the tour to like people wonder. I wonder how it is.
How it's been going.
Yeah, you got to show up. So. To fill that void, to fill that void, I'll do like I'll drop like capsule like releases of merch, or I'll do like remixes that are just I'm inspired by, or I'll do like a freebie online, or like online you can have, or like I don't want to go on IG Live at a show, you know, something like that.
Make it random, unexpected,
more interactive almost. Too.
Yeah.
I read your wife's blog post on confidence and whatnot, and that kind of addresses that. Like, don't force yourself into content if it doesn't feel natural. Don't like chase it.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. It's just I think a lot of people it is natural to worry about like where you are in your career. So, I mean, if you have things that you like, you know, cling to that are gonna boost your likability or. Because that's a true thing, like in marketing, or just like image, like invest in that, but make sure it's you. Don't just see something and copy and it's gonna work for you. Like
no,
you can try it, but you can be
that's weird,
you're gonna be a cookie cutter type of person.
For sure,
you know,
that's not what we're here. Yeah,
you want to be individual.
So in the title of your last album, In the Comfort Of, you kind of left it as like a lingering sentence. What would you say would fill in that blank during the time that you were creating that album?
That's a good question. I would say in the comfort of my home.
Home sweet home.
I was home. My wife was pregnant the majority of the time of it. I listened to a whole bunch of music. That's like I was listening to a lot of music during that time. And before that, I was like barely listening to music. I was just like playing video games. Like working out, playing, like going out and playing sports with my family, and I'll have stuff, but like my wife, she'll be controlling the music in the car and stuff like that.
Right. Oh, she's controlling the music? You're like,
Yeah.
you do this all the time. It's my turn, that's the ox. What is your, I guess, how do you dig for music? Is it like, I feel like you can't really listen to it ever the same ever again, especially, you know, having the sonic ear from a young age and a family of it.
Right. I dig for music in like 3 ways, I would say. Situational, like instances, like and like for example, the most recent surge I had was knowing that I was gonna have a show in Detroit. I was like, I got all my homies about to be there.
Pay homage.
So I had a techno, like I'm doing it tonight actually. But I had like a techno dedication, like Jay Dilla, and it was you know, Jay Dilla's month, you know, in February. So like that sparked, like I'm about to just go hard, like I'm gonna go in, like you know. And what actually sparked that was when I was working with Frank Ocean, we were doing like these remixes, and it was Cayendo. During that process, I was doing the different types of drums, and I ended up doing some techno type drums.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, man, I should start doing that. And then I dropped like a little EP on SoundCloud. It's called the Calder program, which is like where I'm from in Grand Rapids, Calder City. So that type of stuff. It's just like wormhole. So I don't know when I'm going to be out of this Detroit wormhole, but
that's kind of cool, especially because you don't want to. I think the world knows you from obviously, you know, like the Brazilian stuff, but it's dope to. Like, you don't even, like, make it a big announcement, like, here, I do this too. You're just like, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
Here, consume this.
Right.
Enjoy it. Enjoy it.
That's the beauty of DJing and being an artist / DJ and producer, is that you don't have to, like, stick to this, like, okay, I'm a rapper and I only do this type of rap. You could just, like, man, some people don't, like, a lot of people don't even know how I look like, too, so.
Right.
That's even better. I could just do big, you know,
whatever.
Wow, I didn't know you were Brazilian, you know, stuff like that. So I'm just like, yeah, you can just wonder, just keep on wondering. You know?
As you are someone that, you know, is constantly bending, you know, specifically the R&B genre. There's a lot of talk about R&B being dead these days, which obviously we don't think that's true
at all.
What is your, I guess, position on that conversation, or like how to bring that to the forefront? Do you care to have that argument, or is just like they'll find it in due time, I guess?
There's like a couple responses that I kind of have it under my sleeve. I'll just go with this one. I think R&B is always gonna be evolving. Like R&B stemmed from blues music and jazz and stuff like that, and gospel. So it's not as consistent as people want it to be. So you gotta
they want it to be one.
Yeah, you gotta just like people that typically say that, they're like, they love neo soul, which is not R&B. That's soul music.
Right.
New soul.
Right.
It's like Aretha Franklin new. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some people argue Aretha Franklin is like, shoot, man, she's gospel and she's pop. So ask Aretha that, you know, like, you know, when she was like, I gotta ask her that, like, okay, what do you think R&B is? R&B is gonna just be changing as long as that the content of the music stays consistent. You know, like R&B is about love. It's about that's literally what it is, love music. I've never heard an R&B song that just wasn't about love at some point. Like, even in the most.
I was trying to think. I was gonna say Avant when he's like it's a breakup song, but it's about love. You know.
Right.
Even The Weeknd. Even like his dark stuff.
Right.
Brett Fayez. His, you know, he might be like, oh yeah, I'm talking about this, I'm about that, but he's definitely talking about a woman or something of some sort. Even love with himself, self-love. You know.
Right.
But yeah.
And I think even on that topic too, like when you look at some of the illusions that you make in the comfort of, a lot of it is about God or about love and things like that. So being a person who believes in God, like what does that look like in the present day as far as like preserving your morals or like the things that you like believe in as you move through this industry?
It's also a good question. I've been dealing with that. One person I talk to a lot is Xavier Omar. About that. And we keep each other like
accountable.
Sharp. Accountable, and like just being like, you can be like too loose and too open and kind of lose your, like you said, your values and your just like an anchor. You gotta have
somebody.
Yeah, somebody or something, stand for something. So I think my main technique is just like not overthinking like what I'm, you know. Obviously, I won't do a strip club set, like, and people won't even reach out for me for that because they know what I stand for, and that's how you portray that, you know, and like give that message without even speaking, you know. So,
yeah, I even appreciate like, you know, artists like yourself, Xavier. You guys are married and you're open about that, and that wasn't like, I guess, in the forefront in music, you know, like that you heard about the artist having a significant other
and children. Actually, children before the significant other.
And actually talking about them and stuff, like, you know, and it's not like this hidden secret. You don't have to have like this public mass appeal of like, here, I am available. So, I mean, I think that contributes to the anchor.
Most people did it because they want to sell, they want to keep selling that.
Absolutely.
You know, and
single,
like,
I'm in love, but I'm brokenhearted, but I'm available. Like, type of like.
And it's like, I was talking to Xavier about this. He was like, it would be kind of weird if I was not married at this point, singing about all this stuff. Like, okay, this guy's singing about this and preaching this, but is this dude ever gonna get married? You know what I mean?
So, where's it come from? Like,
right. So, yeah, it's honest music.
Let's see. So you dove in head deep into Brazilian culture, from learning Portuguese, making personal connections, and you have a passion for bringing some of that underground culture to the forefront. What would you say to anybody exploring other cultures without riding the line of appropriation?
More of advice, or like just what I think.
In your own personal experience.
I would say, I'd say this. The worst thing I've done was probably feel like that I was the only one that knew about it, and that's where ego comes in, and that's where you think that's like the hipster ego, like no one knows about this.
The elitist, like.
Yeah, right. And that was early on, and I felt like, you know, like, bro, you don't even own this. Like, you could probably do that to stuff you create, because obviously you're creating it.
And even, I guess I wanted to ask about your pen pal that I guess you built with.
Yeah.
How has that relationship evolved? Like, do you guys like spend holidays together?
Nah.
That's your pal.
Alison is he's like a discreet. He's like rare. Like the term. He lives in this city called Soulection, Brazil. It's like in the south. It's like near Porto Alegre, and it's like he DJs. He still produces, but I'll come to Brazil and I won't even see him. And I'll text him and he's like, well, you know,
he's busy.
Yeah, I'm away.
Yeah.
But like, I met him once, and it was real brief. We was like, you know, we knew. It was funny because there was a point in time I didn't speak Portuguese. There was a point in time he didn't speak English. We taught each other that language.
That's just a cool building block of like your story in life in general.
Yeah, he's like a blessing. Straight up, it's just like how you connect with people. You just don't honor, you know, you just never know who you're dealing with.
Right.
You know.
I feel like circling back to talking about people that you've connected with, you mentioned Frank Ocean and the Cayendo, and that is one of like our favorite songs. For a fact, we actually used it in a promo video not too long ago. How did that collaboration end up coming about? Like, how did you end up connecting with Frank? You know, the elusive Frank Ocean.
Right. I mean, from what I can tell you, just basically, his people reached out. They heard my Nights remix that I did. That was on SoundCloud. They liked it, and he was doing his party.
Yeah.
I DJ.
Right.
And then he needed content to like release. And it was kind of.
Yeah.
And then the video, what you saw, the video going around.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's a little straightforward.
Play that on loop.
Yeah.
On loop. Very excited for that.
Other collaborations, The Weeknd. You know, we're known earlier on with House of Balloons and whatnot, and obviously we know The Weeknd is dropping a project later this month. Is there any, I guess, further building that you guys have done since that time?
You know, he changed my life actually, and his team. He's a group of people. I was going to school in Western Michigan University, and I was sending him. I was talking to his homie named Hawk. Hawk was dope. Hawk and Henny.
Hawk and Henny.
Yeah, Hawk and Henny.
It sounds like you'd have homies there.
and there is, I don't know if they still close now, probably, and Lamar is his manager. And we were all, this is like 2012, 13, and we were all just like on Twitter, and I was sending them beats and stuff, and this is before he released his trilogy. He already did all of them already. So I just did a remix, and the first person, I've never told this story. ever.
Right? I'm like, let me hear.
Yeah, so I was just on Twitter talking to Hawk. Well, actually Henny mostly. And
I'm getting that confused already.
yeah. And he was like, yo, like keep sending more, like it'll be a good idea if you like do a remix like of all the trilogy. It'd be cool. Like just do it. Abel will love it. I'll love it. And like Abel, like he put me on like on Tumblr, on his Tumblr thing. He would retweet or repost stuff I did. He was blowing up too. And I met him in Detroit. They invited me to the shelter. They had a show, and I was like, I knew it. He was about to blow up. Like
that was
it was like
the right.
It was right there. It was right there.
Yeah.
I was like thinking to myself, like, man, I think I got lucky this time. I think I'm a part of somebody's like journey early, like right there.
Early on.
Yeah.
But
yours too, though.
yeah, I mean, shoot, I didn't even know. But yeah, I was on the phone with Lamar, and I was like, yo, I got a pack of beats I want to give Abel. It's better to instead of sending it because it's a lot to send. I just want to give him all of it. So it's on a hard drive. I'm gonna give him a hard drive. Oh man, we just left. We had to go to the next next stop. They just went to like it was Toronto. They go back home, which was really crazy to watch. So they left, and he was like, "Yo, meet us at Coachella."
What?
Okay.
Just meet us there.
Or not Coachella, Lollapalooza. So I drove to Lollapalooza with my dad, and I'm not gonna say any names, but this guy was just a weirdo to me. But he was nice enough to invite me and give me backstage passes to a meet with Abel. Met him, talked to Lamar, and then was like, "Yo, we should really start doing stuff together." Lamar, his face was hilarious. He saw me. I was with Abel and Lamar. I was meeting them. It was cool. He got off the stage, and the person I was with, they got me the backstage passes. Little sidebar. This is when Chief Keef was blowing up too. We're in Chicago, and I was with his mom all day.
Chief Keef's mom?
Chief Keef's mom all
How
day.
sweet.
Like, because we were all paired together in like the tent.
Yeah.
It was me, Chief Keef, Fredo, Lil Reese, everybody, just everybody.
Wow.
It was like crazy. One of his daughters was there, but that's beside the point. It's just like I'm gonna give you like just a picture. Like
I'm imagining. I bet you all
what was
the
going
one, so I'm like
on?
trying
It
to
was
see.
going
Okay,
on around
was it this
2012.
time?
It was like Don't Like was popping. Like I don't, you know that. It was like his first time performing it. It was Chicago. Chance the Rapper was his first time. It was crazy.
Dang, now they got like a ban on him performing in Chicago too, right?
Yeah, it was crazy. And Frank was there too. Frank Ocean was there.
What a time to be alive. That's
Frank
crazy.
Ocean was there. No, he wasn't.
See?
I don't know.
It's all blurring together. All right.
That's wild.
If you look up Lollapalooza 2012 and check to see if Frank was on lineup,
Yeah.
Okay.
then I'm not tripping. But what it was this. This is the thing, and this is how you should know. This is a lesson about who you should associate yourself with, and you gotta like ask questions and be aware. I was younger. Lamar took one glance at me, was chilling all day. He saw on my shoulder. He saw the guy I was doing with. He was like, "Dang!" They cut me off, but not in that way. They just stopped talking.
Yeah.
They were like, yeah. But I think what my theory was this: well, they unfollow me. Not they, just Abel unfollow me and all that stuff. And I followed the guy that I was with, and I think they had some beef, and I think he just didn't want to deal with the guy. That guy was slimy a little bit. I understand why. And yeah.
But that sucks. You put in that work and then
Yeah, to have this guy.
And you have no idea. You're like, this guy's just
But the thing is, though,
in.
I kind of think that like I had to meet. I had to happen.
Yeah.
Because like if I didn't, I was never to be. I could have gotten in there without the guy, his past.
Right.
It was weird. He was like sleeping on my floor at hotel. I don't have anywhere to stay. Just grimy, bro.
Oh, you got stuck with him.
And my pops was like, "Who is this musty ass guy on the floor?" Like, it was just
right.
man. I was really trying to go for it,
Yeah.
And my pops was like, he was going for me, So, but end of the day, it obviously it all happened how it needed to happen.
Right.
Like, that relationship never built back up, but there's a mutual understanding. Like I feel like I run into other guys like say that's the guy. But there was never nothing that built from it. But there were some of the craziest beats I sang. I still have them.
Are you gonna release them somewhere?
I should, but
You
they're not.
should.
But like, yeah, I don't know. They're like.
Do you still love them?
They're like definitely for a weekend, and it was stuff I was not into. but I was into the idea because I was pushing myself to create new stuff. It was like some crazy, man. I could probably send those to him still, and he probably might like it, but he's on some different stuff now. But
yeah, he's definitely very good at transitioning into eras. Like we have a whole new like Joker type era going on right now. So I was wondering, I was like, I wonder, if, you know, maybe, hopefully, you know, Sango's out here doing his thing.
You never know, man.
You know,
I have to drop one of those.
Weeknd's like amazing, man. That dude's fire.
For sure. Well, I have a little speed round set of questions. I feel like we were talking about this earlier. I was like, I don't know. I feel like you'd be the type to want to explain some of these, but we can go for it. Go for it. All right.
I'm gonna be the timer here.
Yeah. So it's a what comes first. There's 3 questions, and you just one or the other.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
All right. So, graphic or album concept?
Graphic.
Ooh. Okay. Drums or melody?
Melody.
Artist feature or theme/concept of the song?
Theme.
Weird. I was expecting you'd be like, well, it depends.
Nah, this thing.
That's solid.
What are you gonna write about?
Yeah, because you produce all of these songs and you kind of obviously have like a theme going, and I'm thinking particularly with, again, In the Comfort Of, and then you have like your features, so you have like your Jameson, you have Smino on there, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, how do you end up incorporating the artist without kind of like blocking their creative process? Because you obviously want it to fit into the theme of what you're producing, but like they're hopping on, and then the work, but like what they're talking about was so perfect, so I'm like, well, I wonder which one came first. Like,
I had that. This is like one of the most interesting things I bring up about this. That happened on the album. I was given an idea and it didn't match my album.
Yeah.
And it ended up being a Khalid song before he blew up. And it was just such a sad song.
What song was it?
He never put it out. But it was for me. And like they were like, I was working with some people that he knew, and then they sent over just a song it was a throwaway, low key. I'm like, oh, you don't throw away. But it was I could have made it into anything. I could have added for the stem.
Right.
And that's it. But it was just like, I'm kind of happy that I stuck with my guns, because like I would have been like, no man, no, you know, like taking anything. It's just not my style. Like,
right.
It has to be a certain way. And you know, who knows? You could probably work with that person again. But at that time, I was like, dang man, you blew up.
Yeah.
His voice, it kind of just
took off.
It goes right there.
Yeah.
Now you're part of like this class of like producer artists that you guys came up and say like Kate Trinata, and you know we're hearing the Frank Ocean, and following Joe K, Soulection, and all that stuff. What do you have to say about like the collective and just being around those kind of creatives?
I feel like it's been a blessing, because like, man, I feel for the younger generation right now, because they have there isn't no SoundCloud that it can have. There exists, and they're still using it. They have Audio Mac and stuff like that, but there's no revolution that you can like attach yourself to. It's just like Spotify and these crazy ass labels. And
which is, never mind.
I'll
come back to that.
Right.
Go ahead.
But right now it's creating this hunger in some of these producers. I'm speaking of producers. And DJs. There's this crazy hunger now that these people, man, they're going for it. There's like, I gotta make it. Like what I gotta do next? Like how can I because at the time when I was coming up, there was no way to put music out on a platform. You couldn't just put it on Apple Music or Spotify.
Right.
It was like impossible. You needed a record label to do that. Or if you had like a plug or something like that, but you wasn't gonna go for it. So you had to just hope it went viral, on Twitter, Instagram, whatever like that. So during that time, it was special. It was like a 4-year long span. Everybody came, like everybody and their mama came out of there, and they're huge or they're middle or like they're still doing what they're doing now, but they're successful in their own way.
Right.
So yeah.
It's definitely a pace or just like a platform, specifically Soulection, that people are gravitating to. I mean, even the show, like the Roosevelt tape, that's what, it's inspired by. So, just happy to have a conversation with you and dig into your mind. I feel like we could talk to you forever. But
all day.
Of course, you got to hit the stage, and I'm excited for this show. Sango, inside of the Roosevelt tape, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank y'all. Thank you. Appreciate you.
You're tight.